Well, hey there, YouTube Pipe community. It's your buddy D-Dub, back for another great video. And what a video it's going to be. Why? Because I'm back from the Chicago Pipe Show 2019. And boy, was it a good show. Should I say more? I probably should. I'll tell you a little bit more. I got there Thursday evening per 5 o'clock-ish, something like that. Just in time to kind of do the rounds, interact with people, and tell you the truth, I purchased one of the best pipes I did the entire show Thursday night. Me and a buddy arrived, got ourselves checked in, and immediately started seeing familiar faces. It was a great feeling. For me, really, this year, it was more about the people than anything else. I was excited to see lots of people, and I saw just about everyone I was setting out to see. Started off by getting set up in the room, and then you know, we're in the tower. The way the whole event is set up is you've got the tower, you've got the golf club rooms or the golf side rooms, which is 1 or 2 floors, and then you've got the tent, you've got the show proper, and then you've got the hospitality suite, and that place is crazy. I wouldn't begin to describe it because you wouldn't believe me if I did. But I will share a little video that has some people hanging out there. It's a pretty cool but also dilapidated, scary place. But magic was in the air, and so was pipe smoke because you can smoke it. I started out in the tower. My room was sort of in the middle, and what did I do? I went straight up to the top, the penthouse, which is really just a collection of regular rooms, but they call it the penthouse. And up there, who was there? Smoking Pipes was up there. Yuan Reese was up there. A variety of big pipe people, big pipe names, and big pipe outfits. So went up there and started hanging out. Immediately ran into some carvers. Ran into Gustavo from Martelo Pipes, which is that pipe I purchased on Thursday. And boy, am I glad that I did, because I think come Friday morning, he was completely sold out. All the pipes he had brought, even before the show began. It's important to get there early. It's important to interact. It's important to be there to have fun. And then the rest will work out. You'll end up with all the things you came for and more when you focus on the people and just having a great time. So after doing all the tower stuff, we headed down and went to the smoking tent. Saw a couple people there right away. Saw John Laughlin, saw Bluefin Piper, saw just, I don't know, 3, 4 different YouTube guys. One guy that I think used to make a ton of videos, but he's pulled back, you know, and had a bowl with them. Walked around that night, ended up staying up incredibly late, having some great conversations with Nate King and a couple other pipe makers at that very table. Hung out with Bluefin Piper that night probably the most. We probably just hung and had some vintage tobacco. Can't even remember what it was. Up until very, very late in the morning. Very, very late in the morning. And then what came next? Up first thing in the morning early for Friday, because that's where you can sell your pipes. You get that free space. And I had said I came to sell, and sell I did. Woke up 6:15, something like that, made my way down, got myself in line, so I was sure to get a little spot in the smoking tent where you can just put out anything you'd like to try to sell. And it just so happened that I got probably, I'd say, one of the last spots. And I was setting up, and I put my pipes out, and I was, you know, everything was priced, and it was all good. I had about 7 pipes to sell, and I look over, and I see a gentleman that I've seen before. In fact, he's a pipe buyer. His name is Chance. I can't remember his eBay handle, but he's at all the pipe shows, and he's buying and he's selling. And I saw him, and guess what? Unfortunately, that gentleman did not have a table. I went over. I said, Chance, what happened, buddy? He said, they're not going to be able to get me a table till like 11 o'clock. I said, well, that's unfortunate. You know, if you come over here and you buy all my pipes, you can have my spot. And you know what? The man took me up on it. Bought them all right there on the spot. Very little haggling. Couldn't have been better. Couldn't have gone better. Had it not been exactly that way, I can promise you I would have been coming home with pipes for sure. It just happened to be through that unique situation, and Chance being the helpful, smart, and good businessman that he was. He saw the opportunity. He saw they were good pipes. 3K Woodies, an old Dunhill that wasn't great, a Rad Davis pipe, in a Tiny Nielsen pipe, my second Tiny Nielsen, and swooped him up, took the spot, and there it was, Friday morning, cash in my pocket, all my selling was out of the way, amazing, and I was ready to buy. I was ready to buy, and buy I did. Let's talk about that, right? Let's start off with what I mentioned. Thursday night in the tower, up in the smoking pipes room, I see Gustavo from Martelo Pipes, and there's a shape that he has. It's called the, I'm going to say it wrong, but I think it's the Jabato or the Jabato pipe, and it's a pipe that he has. It's a shape that he's envisioned. He's a Brazilian, really cool guy. In fact, later in the story, I'll tell you he's a, I don't know, you should maybe call him a musician as well. And I got some video of that, which I'll show you in the hospitality suite. And so sat down with him, and he explained the whole story. He's a relatively new pipe carver. He's been doing it, I think, for around 5 or 6 years, something like that. He's studied with 2 or 3 really good pipe makers, and he wanted to take something from his native land. And so this shape is based on a native tree that has a nut that looks very much like the bowl of this pipe that I'm going to show you. As I mentioned, I saw it Thursday night at the tower. I wasn't sure I saw all his pipes. At that point, he had maybe like 5 left, something like that. I think he had brought, I don't know, probably 12, and they sold like immediately. I looked it over, I thought about it, and then it was like an hour later, I was like, I better pull the trigger. And thankfully at like 12:30 at night on Thursday, I saw him, and I purchased this beautiful, really unique, really cool pipe modeled after this shape that he is pioneering. Jatabo, the Jatabo nut, which is the sort of the shape of the bowl. And this pipe is really cool. As you can see, it sort of has this unique ridge, which really changes all the lines. The stem work is great. Horn accents. I mean, it's just a gorgeous pipe, and I am really glad I picked it up when I did, because had I waited till morning, it's entirely possible he would have been completely sold out. So not only is he an excellent pipe carver, he's a really good dude. Enjoyed talking with him, enjoyed watching him and hanging out with him while he was playing music with my buddy Huck from Huck's Pipes. And now that you brought it up, let me show you the pipe I got from Huck. Huck is one of my favorite carvers. This pipe, actually, I didn't even purchase. Well, I did purchase it at the show, but this pipe was a commission. He had it ready for me and everything. And just take a look at this bag. Look at that pearl snap there. That's some handmade goodness right there, my friend. And you know who sewed this? The carver himself, Mr. Huck. All right, guys. This, I would probably say, is I've got 3 of his pipes, and this is definitely my favorite. This was a commission, and what I told him was roughly the length I wanted. I told him the shape I wanted, and I told him I liked the accented stem. And this is something he does really, really well on a lot of his pipes. And I mean, this is just a gorgeous pipe, and this is one that I've had many smokes through already. And it is a performer, and not only that, it fits perfectly and very casually in the mouth. Could leave it there for days. Forget about it even. I could go to sleep, wake up, and there it is, right? Could never leave my mouth. I mean, it's just a gorgeous pipe. I mean, just take a look. Take a look at the grain. Take a look at the fine tuning. And, this man's got his own styling, right? He just does some things that are just him. And I appreciate it. And it's another wonderful pipe from my collection. A couple other pipes I'm going to show you. This next pipe I got right away. I told you I was going to. I said I was going to get a Meerschaum, and guess what? I did. I found a gentleman by the name of Ismail, and he carves Meerschaum pipes. And he may have been one of the only, maybe there were 2, actual carvers that were at the show. There's a ton of Meerschaum pipes to look at, but this gentleman actually carved this pipe, and that felt a little bit important to me. I wanted to support a carver, not just a seller or distributor. And so this is exactly what I was after. Well, it's hard to see, it's so bright, but as you can see, I've put some bowls through it. It's got some imperfections, which I actually really like. And it's just, honest to goodness, good craftsmanship, and it smokes like a dream. Good shape. Another tomato. So I got myself that all-around mirror that I was looking for. Let's keep rolling. The next pipe. I've got one of his pipes too, but this one is more of a signature pipe. As you can see by the bag, I got myself a Bill Shalosky pipe. And Bill is living, he was in Nashville. Now I think he's somewhere else in Tennessee. Before that, he was in sort of the Columbus, Ohio area. And look at this pipe. Beautiful stain on this pipe. Wonderful contrast. And the Fordite, is that what it's called? That's, you know, just one of his signatures, is that compressed paint that you can, I think, find in auto body shops, where it's just been layer and layer and layer and layer of paint, you know, sort of caked on something, and you can actually cut that, sell it. And Bill was sort of, I think, the first one to pioneer the idea it could be used as a stem adornment, because it's a very stable element, or a very stable you know, item, you know, like horn or you know, any other kind of wood. And so Bill has really pioneered this, and here's an excellent example with this beautiful pipe. It smokes great. The draw is perfectly open. You know, sometimes you don't realize what's wrong with a pipe until you smoke a perfect pipe, and then you go, oh God, this is what's missing in all the others. So, and then finally, the last pipe I picked up, this guy right here, little Missouri Meerschaum. Can't leave a show without one of these. This is their 150th year pipe. I think you guys have probably seen these around. They celebrated their 150th year, and they made this bulldog for it, and got myself one. So that's good. That's it for pipes, guys. I did pretty good, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different pipes. Sold 7, came back with 5. But who's the winner? I am, because these pipes are big time keepers. These are pipes that are not only excellent smokers, but they are pieces of art. Not only that, I hung out with the carvers. I hung out with them. I know them. I don't know if I'd say I'm friends with them, probably not. But we enjoy each other's company, and that just makes such a difference. It makes such a difference in smoking it. It makes such a difference in supporting that pipe carver. Another great thing that came with the Chicago Pipe Show was seeing carvers in action. I had a chance to see Scottie Purcell of Scottie's Pipes, who does some excellent, gorgeous pipes. Talk about a pipe maker that has her own style. I got to see her sort of start with an unfinished product and move it farther and farther and farther, all the way from shaping it down to blasting it. And that pipe was eventually given to the auction to be auctioned off for you know, support of the show and various other things. I'll definitely show you guys some clips of that right now.
Like this, my elbow is fucked, my hips are all fucked, and so I lay it on like.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blast with the grain first, and it'll expose the rings, and then I'll go back and kind of hit the rings and highlight them.
Nice.
And then up here, I'm going to actually blast down the shank so that there's a real light blast up against here, and then I'll come back and even this out where it'll all be the same depth as the bowl. And I don't know how long it'll take.
Yeah,
We'll
build
find
up
out.
pressure. Pretty.
Yeah. Now to sand the rim smooth or blast it.
Yeah. Let's talk tobacco, shall we? I came back pretty light this year. Barely bought any, really. Smokers Haven, they're the guys that, you know, come out with, they work with Germain's, came out with this new blend, Syrian, right? But with a C, because this blend has both Cyprian and Syrian Latakia. And so pretty much any Syrian Latakia you're getting already has a significant amount of age. This suggests, right here, this our newly and very, very limited edition blend, has 15-year-old Syrian Latakia mixed with Virginia's, Cyprian Latakia, and other things. And it says right on it, which is pretty cool, 276 out of 400. So, you know, I guess I'm glad I grabbed this one. I did. Maybe they'll make more. I don't know. It sounds like they're not going to. we'll see. And then in the same line, I picked these up, but, you know, as an estate as opposed to new. Got some Best Blend, which is another Smokers Haven blend that Jermaine makes. And this is something I haven't had in some time. And these just have a year of age on them. They're from 2018. Lastly, got myself, because this is, I generally do whenever I see it, picked up some Scottish cake. And that'll just, you know, get dated, written in the old book, and tossed aside for later, years from now, perhaps. So those were all the purchases. But as I mentioned, guys, this show was far less about purchases, more about hanging with people. I spent time outside of the tent with Northern Bohemian, with the Diabetic Man, Tom, with Tade, Smoking Pipeliner, with Alan, with Bryce, with, you know, just all kinds of guys, and sort of that, you know, that whole crew there. Let me think other things of note. I spent a little time within people's rooms. There's a handful of sort of like little mini parties that are going on. I've got a little video from there. Those are great opportunities to hang with people. I found myself sitting right across from Tom Eltang at one of these sort of mini parties, really just, I guess, a hotel room.
We call these basic. Well, we're basic pipe, basic
You know, getting to hear from him and being around Shane Ireland and other carvers, and Jeremy Reeves. Didn't get to spend too much time with Jeremy Reeves, unfortunately, but did run into him a bunch, which was, you know, that's just the way it goes. If you keep your eyes open, you're going to see people, and if you're willing to speak up, you're going to meet people. Yeah, hung out with Dion from YouTube. Just, you know, met a lot of good people. Ran into Mike McNeil, had a couple good conversations with him. He likes to talk about a variety of really interesting things, and he's a gentleman who is in the know. Brian Levine was there, saw him very briefly, heard Mike McNeil talk about Brian Levine. I think probably if I would have stuck around long enough, I would have heard Brian Levine talk about Mike McNeil, but that didn't happen. It was just a great time. It was a great time. It was full of all kinds of items, pipe and non-pipe alike, and it was memorable. It was very memorable. Well, I'm going to weave within this video, and then also at the end, a variety of clips from the hospitality suite, from sort of the room parties, you know, just a variety of, you know, pictures and things like that I took. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys come next year. It's really the place to be. Even if you're not interested in spending a whole lot of money, forget about buying stuff. Just come to hang out and be around other people that love pipe smoking, that love tobacco, that are interested in spending time together and talking about that one thing and bonding. So I think that's it for now, guys. I look forward to seeing you next year. Where? The 2020 Chicago Pipe Show. I'll be there. Will you? Yes.
What brand is it?
At first I saw that because I think we flushed the size. I thought it was I know it's so interesting. Yeah. I think you might have had at one point a Lincoln head or a Lincoln.